God, you are my God, and earnestly I seek you. My soul it thirsts, and my body longs.
There will be days that just go wrong, make you wanna holler and shout and throw your hands up in the air, wondering what it's all about. When you think that things can't get much worse, in a second, oh, everything just goes south. Keep on keeping on, whatever don't kill you makes you strong. Don't you worry, it won't be long. Darkness comes before the dawn. Take it one day at a time. With God's grace, you're gonna be fine. You got what it takes down inside. Road ain't alone. Keep on keeping on. Some people will stand in your way.
They're
Always saying what you cannot do. Don't stop chasing your dreams and working hard to make them come true. Oh. And if it ever gets too tough, just remember your faith will always see you through it. Keep on keeping on. Whatever don't kill you makes you strong. Don't you worry, it won't be long. Darkness comes before the dawn. Take it one day at a time. With God's grace, you're gonna be fine. You got what it takes down inside. The road ain't alone. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Whatever don't kill you makes you strong. Don't you worry, it won't be long. Darkness comes before the dawn. I'll take it one day at a time. With God's grace, you're gonna be fine. You got what it takes down inside. The road ain't long.
keep on.
Road ain't long. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Oh yeah. Keep on keeping on.
It's party time. Join us on Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, as Christopher Fredrickson and JJ Roxy set the House of Hair on fire. Be sure to check out the party in the chat, hosted by Ghost Whisperer. Come check out the House of Hair at ghostfighterradio.com.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report. Mrs. Schlafly is a leading spokesperson in many of our country's ongoing national debates and has become a clear voice for those who are seeking a return to traditional conservative values. And now, here's Phyllis Schlafly.
President Barack Obama wrote in his memoirs that the most significant education he received was not from Columbia University or from the Harvard Law School, but was from his training under Saul Alinsky's system as a community organizer. He was trained by Alinsky's Industrial Areas Foundation, and then Obama taught workshops on the Alinsky method. As he moved up in Illinois Democratic politics, Obama put together a Chicago-style presidential campaign that used Alinskyite methods to defeat the Bill and Hillary Clinton machine and then defeat John McCain. Saul Alinsky's worldview was that the United States is an oppressive and racist society where most people are victims of economic injustice with a future of despair. Alinsky used the communist tactic of class war to divide people into three groups: the haves, the have-nots, and the have-a-little-want-more. He boasted that he contemptuously rejected the values of the middle class, but he taught his trainees how to use language and words popular with the middle class while deceiving the people about what he really meant by those words. He taught that the end justifies the means, but that immoral actions should always be clothed with moral or religious arguments. Saul Alinsky's book, called Rules for Radicals, which he dedicated to Lucifer, was a handbook for radical social and economic change in America. Change was his favorite word. Alinsky did not seek any peaceful solutions. His goal was to crush the haves and level American society. Barack Obama learned how to use the Alinsky tactics successfully. Well, Saul Alinsky is dead now, but his son David boasted in a Boston newspaper that Obama was a disciple of Saul Alinsky and had applied Alinsky techniques to win his 2008 campaign for president.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Eagle Forum. As a parent, are your core values being threatened by the local school district? Do you feel called to protect your own children and be an advocate for your community? At eagleforum.org, enter the blog with Phyllis Schlafly and you'll be informed and equipped to make a difference. That's at eagleforum.org. Thanks for listening and join us next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
You're listening to Ghost Fighter Radio.
You're listening to the Captain's America with Matt Bruce.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And thank you for starting out your week with the Captain and for having lunch here with the Captain on the Captain's America radio show all across the country. Wherever you're listening to us from, we thank you very much for taking time out of your busy, busy day to listen to us as we opine about the best conservative issues of the day here on the Captain's America radio show. First of all, the website for the program, thecaptainsamerica.talkspot.com, thecaptainsamerica.talkspot.com. And thank you very much for those of you tuning in, not only on Blog Talk Radio, but also on Net Talk World, the Captain's America radio show website, as well as TalkStream Live, and also Liberty Bell Radio and Ghost Fighters Radio. Well, I'll tell you what, gasoline prices in the past 6 weeks are up 15 to 20%. We were paying $2.99 a gallon right here in my backyard, currently $3.64 a gallon in the last 6 weeks. And oh, by the way, are you ready for this one, folks? The subsidies being paid for solar and wind amount to $774 per hour of power produced by the solar and wind industry. This compares to 63 cents an hour, the subsidies given to oil. I will repeat that. $774 per hour worth of subsidies from the federal government for solar and wind power based on what it costs to produce the power versus 63 cents per hour from the federal government subsidized for oil. You heard it right. You heard it first right here on the Captain's America radio show. Well, we're going to be broadcasting live from the Republican National Convention starting next Monday, the 27th of August, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And we're going to do a special wrap-up show, more than likely from the Tampa St. Pete Times Forum on Friday the 31st as well. Now, starting out the convention, we're going to see Ann Romney right off the bat, welcoming the delegates and possibly speaking to the convention right off the bat in prime time. It'll be interesting to see how that works because Ann Romney has medical problems of her own, understands what it's like to have to go to a doctor and schedule things, and knows what it's like to bring up a family of kids, all boys, as the case might be. And I have nothing but the greatest deal of respect for her. Now, we've got some great guests lined up for today. First of all, we've got Wayne Allen Root, who'll be our first guest, talking about the Romney-Ryan ticket and some things that he predicted. By the way, I agreed with him when he predicted. We've also got Intel analyst Alana Friedman. She's the second one coming up. But right now, I'm going to tell you what Mitt Romney was up to over the weekend. And Mitt Romney is going to tell us about Medicare. This was his first weekly podcast heard on Saturday. So take it away, Mitt.
This November, America will make a choice about the direction we want to go as a country. And nowhere is that choice clearer than on the issue of Medicare. President Obama's health care law raided $716 billion from the Medicare Trust Fund. And he did that to finance his takeover of the health care system. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, his health care law also put in place a board of 15 unelected bureaucrats and gave them the power to make additional cuts to Medicare without even having to get approval from Congress. This means they could deny elderly Americans the care they've worked for their entire lives, all because President Obama trusts bureaucrats more than he trusts seniors and their doctors. And here's one more troubling aspect of all this. According to independent, nonpartisan scorekeepers, these cuts the president's people will take to Medicare won't prevent it from going bankrupt. Experts estimate that Medicare trust funds will be exhausted just 12 short years from now. Now, there is good news, and that is that there's a better approach. Last November, I released a plan to save and strengthen Medicare without making any changes for those that are 55 years of age and older. And then shortly after that, my running mate, Paul Ryan, he worked in a bipartisan way to advance a nearly identical series of reforms in Congress. Now that he and I have teamed up, we're going to ensure that seniors are protected from President Obama's reckless actions. We're going to take our solutions all the way to the White House. We're going to start by repealing Obamacare. That law is threatening seniors, and it's a maze of new federal mandates and taxes and penalties that's hampering job creation. Once the partisan roadblock is removed, we can work with leaders from both parties to advance real solutions to save Medicare. The Romney-Ryan plan will make no changes to Medicare for those that are retired or near retirement. And if we act soon, we can reorient our policies without asking seniors to reorganize their lives. For younger Americans, we're going to strengthen Medicare for them by providing future retirees with federal financial support and letting them choose from a list of Medicare-approved coverage plans, including a traditional Medicare option. The amount of financial support that a person would get would be adjusted based on their income. More help would go to the poor or the sick, and less help would go to those that are financially better off. It would be based on how much the plans cost so that seniors always have access to affordable, quality coverage. And no senior could ever be denied coverage for any reason. The Romney-Ryan plan preserves and protects Medicare, and it guarantees the future of the program by forcing insurance companies to compete for business. Choice and competition will drive costs down and make quality better, resulting in more affordable, better care for our seniors. We've got to save this critical program. You paid into it, and you've earned it. I think it's outrageous that the president took $716 billion out of the Medicare Trust Fund to pay for Obamacare. No president should put in jeopardy your benefits, and no board of bureaucrats should ever be empowered to make decisions that could deny you the kind of care that you deserve. This November, I hope you'll reject President Obama's cuts to Medicare, and I hope you'll choose Paul Ryan and me to protect health and retirement security, to promote prosperity, and restore our economic growth. Thanks so much for listening.
Hold on a little longer. A better America begins tonight.
This is the Captain, Matt Bruce. Make sure you're listening at 6:35, 8:35, and 10:35, starting Monday, August the 27th through Thursday, August the 30th, for live updates from the Republican National Convention in Tampa.
Join me in the next step toward that destination of November 6th.
On 99.9 FM, WXJB, and 1450 WWJB, the News and Talk Station.
Out the hour here with Wayne Allen Root. Wayne Allen Root, I call him Mr. Libertarian because I believe he is. He's a former vice presidential candidate back in 2008, a classmate of Barack Obama. And Wayne, welcome to the Captain's America Radio Show.
Hey, Captain. Always great to be on with you.
Well, we always have a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, Paul Ryan, since we last talked, is now the GOP vice presidential pick to run with Mitt Romney. He's coming to Florida tomorrow up at the Villages, which is where the largest Tea Party group in the state of Florida is, about 3,500 members strong. We expect about 10,000 people there tomorrow. I'm going to be there with the radio show, but I just heard that a Democrat operative who is a reporter for the Huffington Post is going to be leading the demonstration against Paul Ryan outside the venue.
Well, that's typical. The media doesn't hide their prejudices and their biases very well anymore. You know, it's funny. Forget about Huffington Post. They're as liberal as they get. There's no point even trying to discuss it. They are a liberal organization that happens to have been bought for $312 million by AOL, a public company. So that one's interesting. But how about even like the NBC Evening News, Captain? You know, I've watched that my whole life. You know how people say once you're stuck on something, you kind of stay there for life as a consumer?
Yep.
Well, my parents introduced me to the NBC Evening News 40 years ago, and I've watched it at least 3, most times 5 times a week for the last 40 years. And I used to love Tom Brokaw. Now it's Brian Williams. When I watched the Evening News, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, when Mitt Romney went to Europe, to Poland, to Israel, to England, it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. They bent over backwards like they were the Obama propaganda network to make sure that Romney looked terrible, even though his comments were all fine. You and I discussed this on your radio show.
Yeah.
I've never seen such a biased attempt to destroy one candidate and take his comments out of context in all my years. And now I realize that I've been watching a show all these years that's biased and controlled by the liberal left and doesn't even make an attempt to be fair anymore.
Well, I go back to the days of Chet Huntley and David Brinkley, and they did a pretty good job of being fair and balanced before Fox came along. And then there was John Chancellor, and he used to be pretty good at it, too, and tried to really balance both sides of the issue. Now, that is long gone. We're never going to see that again from that particular network.
Yeah, long gone. But I'll tell you what, they tried to be balanced, but we all know what their real opinions were behind the scenes.
Yep.
The media's always been left.
Yep.
And now they're just not even making an attempt to hide it anymore. It's embarrassing. And I've told the story in your show many times about, my class at Columbia where they clapped and cheered and gave a standing ovation when they thought Reagan had been killed, had been assassinated. So, all of those people grew up and went into the media. When I look back at my pages of Columbia College today, all of these students that cheered for the death of Reagan are now interspersed as the top members of the United States media. You really don't need to know anything more than that.
Right. Now, we've got some really good things going on down here in Florida besides Paul Ryan. The announcement of Paul Ryan to the ticket has absolutely electrified the Tea Party down here, and now the polling data in the state of Florida is showing a huge advantage for Romney and Ryan because of Medicare. The senior citizens get it. They get it. And they understand that nothing will happen to them above the age of 55 the way their Social Security and Medicare is currently set up, unlike what we're hearing from the Democratic side of the aisle.
Yeah, well, you remember 3 months ago I wrote that I believed Romney would win in a landslide. It was one of my most popular video commentaries ever, about 100,000 people.
Right there with you. Yep.
And listen, I still think that was based on him picking Marco Rubio. I still think if Romney picked Rubio, it would have been a better choice. It would have iced Florida, not given him a slight advantage, but a landslide advantage, and I think it would have given Romney Hispanic votes around the country. I still think that would have been a smarter move, but I've written a commentary that I do believe Paul Ryan was a brilliant choice. Still not as good, second to a Marco Rubio, but nonetheless a good choice that establishes the difference between sanity and insanity, between cutting government, cutting spending, and raising government and raising spending even bigger under Obama in a second four-year administration. And most importantly, I think he's the smartest guy in the room. Paul Ryan proves that Obama is not the brilliant genius everyone thinks he is. If you go to Google and you go to YouTube, excuse me,
yeah.
and you kind of Google the idea of Paul Ryan debating Obama, you will see Paul Ryan at a congressional get-together schooling Obama on Obamacare.
Yep.
He knows by far more about Obamacare than Barack Obama does. Obama is a empty suit. It really turns out he's not that bright a guy. He's a good salesman if the sales pitch is on a teleprompter, but he doesn't know a darn thing about the very things he's promoting. And Paul Ryan is brilliant, Captain.
Yeah.
That was the smartness of this move, was that you put a bright guy who knows every line of the budget so he can follow Obama around. That was my advice. And Rush Limbaugh this week said the Republican Party needs to follow Wayne Root's advice because he read this article on the air. And he said Wayne Root is brilliant. He's on the money. You got to let Paul Ryan follow Obama around the country. Everywhere Obama goes, have Paul Ryan show up the same day or the next day to repudiate every word Obama says and prove he's a phony and all his math is fraudulent.
Yeah, I heard Rush say that because we're the affiliate for Rush Limbaugh, and I heard him say that, and I just chuckled when he said it. But here's the thing. Romney now holds a 24-point lead over Obama amongst Florida voters 55 years of age and older, and that is phenomenal. That's the number one voting bloc in the state of Florida right there.
Yeah, listen, if the media was honest, Matt, here's what they would say. They would stop saying that there's a gender gap and Romney has a problem, he can't get women voters, and they would stop saying that Romney can't get black voters and Hispanic voters. If they were honest, they'd report the equal side, the other side. They would say that Romney has a 20-plus point lead among white voters, as well as that 24-point lead in Florida among 55 and older.
Yep.
They would report that he does fantastic among men, and that Obama has a male problem, as well as a white problem, as well as an older problem. But they don't want to report that. They only want to report the negative things about the Republican candidate. So, listen, there's a lot of good things happening right now. Latest polls I saw is Romney's in a solid lead in North Carolina, a state Obama won 4 years ago.
Right.
Romney's dead even in Wisconsin, a state that was given up for dead.
Yep.
Romney is leading by 16 points in Indiana, a state that Obama won 4 years ago. And now you're telling me he's doing well in Florida.
That's right.
I think that things are turning very bad and very ugly for Obama, just as you and I were smart enough to predict 3 months ago. The problem is he's going to go nuclear. This guy's not going to go down. This Chicago thug and his team of thugs like Axelrod, David Axelrod, and Rahm Emanuel, that group will not take this standing lightly. They're going to go down in a thermonuclear attack. They're going to take on Republicans with the most vicious, below-the-belt, disgusting things you've ever seen. We've already got a taste with that man claiming his wife died of cancer because of Mitt Romney, and of course the statement by Biden about you'll go back. They're going to put you back in chains to a black audience. Disgusting, not befitting the office of the president or vice president of the United States. And folks, it's only going to get uglier, and it's only going to get worse.
Now, Wayne, let's talk about the article that you wrote, which really went viral recently, about Barack Obama at Columbia when you were his classmate. And the reason for him being there and for not showing up for classes and all of that could have been because he might have been a foreign exchange student. Explain.
Yeah, or a foreign national. I found out since I wrote that the better term is foreign national. What I would say is that Obama clearly did not have good grades in high school. He was a pot smoker, didn't care, and yet he got into Occidental, a fairly decent college, and then he clearly did not have good grades at Occidental. Everyone who was there with him says all he did was attend Marxist meetings and smoke pot and rarely went to class, and yet he got into one of the best 5 schools in America, Columbia University, my school. I was his classmate, and then he clearly didn't do well at Columbia, or his records wouldn't be sealed. I never saw him in class ever, and I thought I knew everyone in the political science department. So if I didn't see him in class, then he wasn't studying, he wasn't attending class, he was getting straight C's, he took a gentleman's C. So how did he get into Harvard Law School? And the answer to all of that, as a common-sense person who's good at putting clues together, I'm almost like a detective in real life. I'm an odds maker in Las Vegas and a very successful one. The only answer that would have gotten him into all 3 schools is that he was a foreign national. He applied to college as an Indonesian citizen. How did he become an Indonesian citizen? This is not a birther argument. This isn't something that can be attacked badly. He went to Indonesia with his mom when she married an Indonesian citizen. And he became an Indonesian citizen because that's the only way to go to Indonesian school, and he went to Indonesian public schools. When he came home, he never bothered to change back his citizenship, and then found out he could use it as a big advantage to get into the best colleges in America. And that's what I believe Obama did. It also explains how in the summer of '81, he traveled to Pakistan when no American at the time was allowed to travel to Pakistan without with an American passport. You couldn't do it. So he did it with an Indonesian passport. Why does any of this matter, Captain? I'll tell you why. Pretty simple. Because either he committed fraud when he went to college and said he was an Indonesian foreign national when he wasn't, or he really was, in which case he's committing fraud on the American people right now. He has no right to be president of the United States. So this is the type of story that if the national mainstream media cared, could actually take down the president of the United States, but they don't seem to care.
Now, we are sitting here as we record this for a broadcast on the weekend, live, of course, for the Friday show here in the Tampa Bay area, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a little bit after that, and you notice what hasn't come out today, namely the job numbers?
Yeah, no job numbers yet. I'm sure they're going to be bad, although having said that, you know what's funny? I think that these numbers have always been fixed by the government. They're not as bad as they should be. Obama is really fixing the numbers because they're using different measurements than they used to. And so the measurements that they used back in 1929, if you use the same ones today, our unemployment would be right at 20%. So, even when they come out, Captain, and we say they're bad, they're 8.3, that's not accurate. 8.3 doesn't include all those who've dropped off the list and aren't looking anymore, and it doesn't include all those who never got on the unemployment list. If someone like me owns their own business and the business goes under, you can't collect unemployment.
That's right.
There are thousands of small businesses like that, and anybody who's underemployed in a part-time job but would like a full-time job, they're not counted either. So we really are right in the range of 18 to 20% is the real number, and that's worse than
that is right.
Of the Great Depression.
And, folks, we've been speaking today with Wayne Allen Root, Mr. Libertarian, the website rootforamerica.com, rootforamerica.com. And, Wayne, what do we all want to do?
We want to root for America.
All right, and, Wayne, we look forward to speaking to you again next week.
This is Frank Salvato from the New Media Journal. You're listening to the Captain's America on Net Talk World Global Talk Radio.
These days, you can't afford to be wasting time or money, especially in business. That's why I stopped going to the post office and started using Stamps.com. Now, I print real U.S. postage for all my letters and packages using just my computer and printer. And now you can start saving time and money, too. Just go to 33stamps.com, and you'll get a...
That's 33stamps.com, 33stamps.com, and start saving money today using your computer, not having to go to the post office. 33stamps.com, that's 33stamps.com.
Enjoy the 100 greatest books of all time and never read a word. Listen to them instead on the Library of Classics MP3 player. Enjoy Moby Dick, Gulliver's Travels, Tom Sawyer, Little Women, and 96 more, all preloaded on the compact player. Listen while driving, gardening, working out, or relaxing in your favorite chair. It's the perfect companion for road trips or on a plane. For a limited time, you'll receive the easy-to-use MP3 player, headphones, belt clip, car adapter, and 100 classic audiobooks. You could easily spend over $1,000 to buy the entire collection. You get everything for just $99 plus shipping. That's less than $1 a book. Order now and you'll also get 50 great classical music performances preloaded on the player. You're fully protected by our lifetime guarantee. If you are ever dissatisfied, get a complete refund, no questions asked. Call toll-free right now and order your library of classics.
1-800-721-5077. 1-800-721-5077. That's 1-800-721-5077.
Firefighters, EMS, law enforcement, military vets, current and former, listen up. This is the captain. Have we got a deal for you? Get the credit you deserve for serving your country. Have you ever gone to buy a car or truck only to find out the interest rate you were being charged was twice as much as you thought it was going to be? Well, now you can go to Defend, Protect, Serve, Autoloans.com to find out how we can save you money on your next auto purchase. That's Defend, Protect, Serve, Autoloans.com. Call 855-937-2588 to find out more. That's 855-WE-SALUTE. Defend, Protect, Serve, Autoloans.com, 855-937-2588. That's 855-937-2588 to save money on your next auto loan. Tell them the captain sent you.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare with your children being raised by someone else? With our free information, you can lead a less stressful life, work from home, and start earning money as soon as next week.
I was about to be laid off from a company that was going bankrupt. On top of that, I wanted my kids to have mommy care, not daycare. My first month, I made $1,000 part-time. After 90 days, I was home with my children, and for the past 7 years, I've been here for my 3 little girls. I love this business.
Go to freedom130.com. Get out of the rat race and start earning great money as soon as next week.
I was skeptical. However, I had to get out of corporate America. Both me and my wife were able to quit our jobs and now make over $10,000 a month from home.
Go to freedom130.com right now and change your life today.
Hold on a little longer. A better America begins tonight.
This is the captain, Matt Bruce. Make sure you're listening at 6:35, 8:35, and 10:35, starting Monday, August the 27th through Thursday, August the 30th, for live updates from the Republican National Convention in Tampa.
Join me in the next step toward that destination of November 6th.
On 99.9 FM, WXJB, and 1450 WWJB, the News and Talk Station.
Alana definitely knows her stuff. So, Alana, welcome to the Captain's America radio show. And let's start talking about Syria, because yesterday, during the middle of an interview, Steve Harrigan was on the border between Syria and Turkey, and they took incoming fire almost directly on top of them.
Yeah, that's not surprising. They are targeting everybody. They're targeting everybody who isn't just like them, which is very, very serious. You're dealing with people in the very nasty Syrian Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda. And, you know, I don't have to say what Al-Qaeda is all about, but they will target anyone. They're targeting Christians. They're targeting news people. They're targeting people, rescue workers, Red Cross or the Red Crescent. Anybody who isn't fighting their fight is a fair target.
Well, Harrigan pulled out of Syria and went across the border into Turkey. He's still on the border, but he's in Turkey this time. And he said he would not be going back to Syria because he believed that his crew was targeted and it was too dangerous for them to be there. So I guess now what's going to happen is we're going to have to rely on outside reports because Fox won't be there anymore. And just exactly how involved is Al-Qaeda? We keep hearing mixed reports about Al-Qaeda, but how involved are they in this fighting?
Oh, Syria, they are, excuse me, I'm going to turn off my my speaker. Al-Qaeda is deeply involved in the opposition. It started off, when the opposition started off over a year ago, started off in a little town south of Syria. And at that time, Muslim Brotherhood got involved. They were great organizers. And they started spreading this opposition all over Syria. And then, not long after, remember, they're Al Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood are both. In fact, Al Qaeda is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. So they're sons by brothers by a different mother. So they are working together. But Al Qaeda came in shortly after, and they have pretty much taken over the opposition. They're all over. They are spotted all over Syria.
And folks, we're speaking with Alana Friedman. She is a senior intel analyst for Gerard Direct, the website gerarddirect.com. Okay, let's fast forward. The Syrians and a good friend of ours, General Paul Vallely, who made a trip to Syria to find out who these rebels were, are begging for help. They're begging for beans, bullets, anything they can get their hands on, medical supplies, and they are not getting it from the United States. Very surprised to hear, and the general is a credible source to tell us that even though there's a bunch of lip service from the U.S., we are doing nothing.
I'm not surprised. I generally agree with General Vallely 100%, but I don't agree with him in this case, because if we are supplying weapons to the opposition in Syria, we will be supplying Al Qaeda and Syrian Muslim Brotherhood, and that would be a big...
Well, we aren't supplying anybody other than Turkey and Jordan, and I believe the other was Qatar, was the other nation that was involved that's actually giving any aid and comfort to the rebels. Is that right?
Well, it's worse than that, because actually the United States has supplied Stinger missiles to the opposition through Turkey. So it's not that we are not involved in the supply of weapons. It's just that we are not doing it openly.
And, folks, we're speaking with Alana Friedman. Alana Friedman, senior intel analyst, GerardDirect.com is the website. Okay, what's going on with the chemical weapons?
That's a $64,000 question.
I'd like to know who's got control of them. Do you think al-Assad still does?
You know what? I simply don't know. When you understand that this stuff is distributed around the country. It's not centralized.
Yeah, and it was moved.
And it's been moved. It's been moved more than once. So, in fact, some of it may have been moved into Lebanon or into Iran. We just don't know. So we don't know who has control over it. We don't know where it is, and we don't know where it's going.
Well, if it went to Lebanon, wouldn't that be Hezbollah who would have control?
If it goes to Lebanon, that will certainly be Hezbollah who has control, but Hezbollah is controlled by Iran. There is also not only chemical weapons, but also biological weapons, either biological weapons in development or in storage. And we know that we have been working for many years on weaponizing things like smallpox and anthrax.
And this isn't like Iraq. We know they've got them because they've admitted they've got them.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So the only question is, where are they?
Right.
And who's got them?
Now, let me ask you another question since you brought Iran into this. Israel is sitting there with their fingers on the trigger, getting ready to go after Iran once they feel Iran is capable of putting a warhead on top of one of their missiles. Will that happen, do you think, will that happen before the presidential election in November?
Well, I actually believe that Iran has already accomplished that mission, that they have already been able to overcome the problem that they had, which was that the warheads were too big for the new, slimmer missiles. But what we've got now is a situation where they have to decide that they really want to go to war. And they can talk war a lot, and they're big on talking, but it isn't clear that they are going to actually go to war. But they do have the capability. They also have, just so that we know how far this has gone and how out of control it is, they have container ships that they got from the Russians that are that these containers are actually missile launchers.
Right.
And that can be raised. And their ships are all over the Atlantic.
Right.
So, we are a target now, so it doesn't have to just be Israel. But Iran has to make the decision that they're ready to go to war and take the consequences.
Now, my other question about Iran is the fact that the missiles you're referring to, are these the missiles they got from North Korea by way of Pakistan?
Yes.
All right, so these are North Korean missiles that were shipped to them from Pakistan. And the other thing is, when you talk about the container ships, we need to be concerned now because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a Russian attack sub showed up in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, isn't that interesting?
How do we allow that to happen?
Well, we weren't paying attention, for one thing. We've got enormous resources in Florida, and we are not paying attention or using the resources that we have to the advantage. I mean, our technology is amazing, but it's not being utilized. And I think that's part policy and part inefficiency and part bureaucracy. I don't know, but an attack Soviet sub in our waters is a very, very serious issue because it's not Soviet, it's Russian, sorry. The Russians have allied themselves with Iran and with North Korea, but certainly with Iran. And I mean, they're helping each other out. Iran is getting help from North Korea, China, and Russia, and so they're just bad bedfellows.
And we're speaking with Alana Friedman, Senior Intel Analyst at Gerard Direct, the website gerarddirect.com. All right, so now let's move over into Afghanistan. Afghanistan is important because it sits between Pakistan and Iran. Now, he who controls Afghanistan controls millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of lithium. Lithium is used to make batteries. The electric car market, transistor radio batteries, computer batteries, and all that is a market that is still being developed as we speak. Is that, in your opinion, the main reason for us even maintaining anything to do with Afghanistan to make sure that lithium is under our control?
Well, that's a very interesting question because it's not something that's talked about very much. The New York Times wrote an article about it a couple of years ago, but it hasn't really been followed up, and it's not a big topic of conversation in the media. However, it's a very, very great resource. It would explain, at least in part, why we're still there. And however, having said that, I have to tell you that nobody is going to control Afghanistan except the Afghans because they are a tribal people. They don't understand nationality. They owe their allegiance to their tribes first and foremost, and then to the Taliban if they're so inclined or if they must, but not to a national government which they don't understand. So it's not part of their culture. So whatever happens, it has to happen, I believe, within the context of the culture that exists there, not the one we're trying to impose on it.
Now, the final thought for the day and the question for the day that I have for you is, we'll fast forward again to the election. There are a lot of people saying that Barack Obama is going to do something once he gets significantly behind in the polls with the military, lobbing a few missiles somewhere or something like that. Do you think that could happen with this president?
Yes, I certainly do, and I've been very concerned about it. I'm doing an awful lot of research on the subject because if you read the latest article, the Social Security Administration has just purchased or put out an RFP for 174,000 rounds of hollow point bullets. Now, what in the world does the Social Security Administration need bullets for?
I guess the same reason the National Weather Service needed 46,000 rounds themselves, and it was going to the NOAA law enforcement guys. But, Alana, we've run out of time, and her website, folks, Alana Friedman, is GerardDirect.com, Senior Intel Analyst there at Gerard Direct. And, Alana, we look forward to speaking to you next week.
I will look forward to that. Thank you so much.
All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Homeowners, did you know a burglar could break into your home and get away in just 5 minutes? A locked door may not be enough to keep a thief out of your home. Think about what you can lose, and then think about this. Now you can get a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Pick up your phone now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, at 1-800-860-0392. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. So call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-860-0392. $99 installation charge. 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 a month. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now. 1-800-860-0392. That's 1-800-860-0392.
Are you an inventor, or do you know an inventor who would like some free inventor's information? Call InventHelp, one of America's largest invention companies, and learn how to get free information. Call toll-free 800-348-6692. That's 800-348-6692. You'll learn how to attempt to patent your idea and submit it to industry. Call InventHelp right now at 800-348-6692. That's 800-348-6692.
Does credit card debt have you living paycheck to paycheck? Are you making minimum payments but only falling further behind? Then here's good news you'll love. Call the Thomas & Law Group and find out about our free no-obligation debt elimination program, guaranteed to settle your credit card debt or you don't pay. That's right. We'll find the absolute best debt reduction solution for you or you pay nothing. It's called Pay for Performance, and you won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront fee, no monthly fees, no banking fees, nothing until your case is settled. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group to learn about our new Pay for Performance program. Appointment times are limited, so call 800-305-4814 and find the relief from credit card debt that you desperately need with the full weight of our law group behind you. 800-305-4814. 800-305-4814.
This is Frank Salvato, managing editor of NewMediaJournal.us, and you're listening to The Captain's America with Matt Bruce on FM 99.9 WXJB, news and talk for the Nature Coast.
Where the stars and stripes and the eagles fly.
By clicking on Contacts at the all-new
One of 700 radio show hosts included in the book, Radio Wants You, an intimate portrait of 700 radio shows that welcome guests.
What a loser.
And this is interviews from the past and present, now available on JiggyJaguar.com.
I was really surprised about that.
How are you, my friend?
Do you hear what this line sounds like?
Yes, indeed. You are absolutely amazing, man. It sounds like it sounds like you're like right here, sitting next to me.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. We had another really good plug came out for the radio show today. We've been pushing for months, well, actually for a couple of years, with retired Major General Paul Vallely, my former commanding officer in Vietnam,
yes,
to get a new policy in the DOD with our special ops. Instead of going out and trying to nation build with 100,000 troops here and there,
yeah.
When something flares up, let's take an aircraft carrier group with the 3,000 or so troops that are there, maybe 100 to 500 special ops forces, and send them in, get the job done, and get them the hell out of Dodge. All of a sudden,
amazing.
All of a sudden, the DOD has picked up on that policy.
Well, congratulations, my friend.
Isn't that something? And I'm right here in the backyard of CENTCOM, so I'm not really surprised because CENTCOM is listening to the program, and that proves it.
We've got Matt Bruce with us today, author, retired fire captain, nationally syndicated radio host. As we get closer and closer to the elections in November, we're going to see more and more campaign commercials, media coverage regarding the candidates. The question is, how reliable is any of it? And the topic today is the mainstream media a credible source anymore? And Matt, it's craziness out there. Give me your thoughts on this.
Well, two words come to mind: Joe Biden. Joe Biden was in Danville, Virginia, and he thanked all the voters and said they were going to carry North Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, did the media report that? Most of them, no. That's for openers. For seconders, the president was in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and he called out Paul Ryan in front of a group of farmers and said to the farmers, he said, by the way, the person standing in the way of your drought aid is Paul Ryan. It's hung up in Congress, and Paul Ryan's the reason. Now, the farmers didn't get excited about that, and there was a good reason. They knew the truth, and it was pretty obvious. And when I went and did a little research, come to find out, 33 days ago, the Congress, House of Representatives, that is, passed the jobs bill, and in the jobs bill was a specific provision for drought aid for the farmers. It went over to the Senate. Harry Reid's been sitting on it, and he's the guy who's done nothing about it. The president got it wrong.
Amazing, amazing stuff. We've got Matt Bruce with us today. He has got the incredible website, thecaptainsamerica.talkspot.com, and he's doing all sorts of different things anymore, my friend. Now, talk to me a little bit.
Got a newspaper too.
Talk to me a little bit about what you're doing these days with you're kind of your own media conglomerate.
Well, I've got a newspaper, an online newspaper called The Captain's America. It's doing very well. We suddenly have gotten more than 1,000 daily subscribers to it. You can link to it on thecaptainsamerica.talkspot.com. Our podcast just went into the 37,000-plus listener range on over 55 Internet websites. We just picked up another radio station, only this time for the radio show, the nationally syndicated weekend show, will be my flagship station, 99.9 WXJB in Homosassa, Florida, just north of Tampa Bay, but it has a signal that goes all the way from Tampa Bay to the Georgia state line up I-75, so it gives us a tremendous amount of coverage, and it gives us a great base to operate out of along the Nature Coast of Florida.
Amazing stuff, and I noticed recently, I was reading in, I believe it was Talkers Magazine, their newsletter, you were doing some fill-ins or something somewhere, right?
That is correct. We did a morning show from 6 to 9 a.m. Had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure we were there on time. But we did a morning show from 6 to 9 in the morning for a couple of weeks while the host was on vacation. As a result, that station liked what they heard so much. They now are the weekend show, flagship station for the radio show. And that's 99.9 WXJB and AM 1450. WWJB. It's an AM and FM sister station.
You're doing some amazing stuff, man. Talk to me a little bit about where you see the mainstream media going with their coverage leading into the election.
Well, it's going to get worse because the mainstream media is in bed with Barack Obama, and they are not challenging Barack Obama on anything that he's saying. They're going right along with it. Birds of a feather flock together, and the problem with all of this is you really have to do your homework because they're talking about the Republicans are gutting Medicare for the senior citizens. They're scaring it by Jesus right out of the senior citizens.
Yeah.
But here's the fact. Debbie Wasserman Schultz comes into my backyard and says, the Republicans have gutted over $700 billion out of Medicaid, or Medicare. No, they haven't. It was Barack Obama who took $716 billion out of Medicare to pay for Obamacare. Hello, come in. And, I mean, this is the kind of stuff, inaccurate, incorrect, and the mainstream media doesn't even call them out.
It is just simply amazing. Where do you see some of the conservative media and radio and people of that nature? Are they going to be able to counter anything that the mainstream media has to say?
You bet they are. The new media and the shows that are heard on the Internet, as well as on radio, terrestrial radio, and Internet, people are going out searching for things to be able to verify their quest for information. Now, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of ways to do that. And I get, just like you probably do every day, I find people from all around the world coming on and searching the website. But the best part of it is they're hungry. They want the truth. And they never would be on my website, yours, or any of the other new media if we weren't getting it right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you, my friend, it's a struggle out here to keep this stuff going and keep everybody informed when you've got just simple craziness running around out here. It's just making our jobs a little bit harder. Now, where do you see the election going? What do you see it coming down to?
Here's what I see going on right now. In my home state of Florida, there has been a fire lit under the Tea Party groups. There's over 100 Tea Party groups in 67 counties. There's been a fire lit under the Tea Party groups. The conservatives are excited about Paul Ryan. A week or so ago, there was a poll on Fox News that had Obama up by 9 points. That difference has now evaporated with the announcement of Paul Ryan as a running mate, because three major polls so far this week have come out. The Zogby poll, which is a progressive left poll. I know John Zogby. He's from upstate New York, Utica, New York, a former teacher at Syracuse University. He leans hard to the left, and he had to struggle, believe me, to report that it was a dead-even poll, 46-46. But in the meantime, the Gallup poll for the first time since the middle of June has Mitt Romney in front by 2 percentage points over Barack Obama, and the Rasmussen poll has Mitt Romney up by 3 percentage points. It's killing the Democrats that Paul Ryan has caught on with the conservative community. They didn't think it was going to happen.
They didn't think this was going to take place, man.
Right. Absolutely.
I'll tell you, it is absolutely amazing. And Matt Bruce is with us today to talk about this topic as well as many others. Is the mainstream media, what are they going to poll to kind of, I guess, pull the wool over everybody's eyes?
Well, the polls that they do lean to the left. If you take a look at the polls that are being done by the progressive left liberal media, they are all anywhere from 5 to 7 to 9 to 11, and even one of them, the Pew Research poll 10 days ago, was 19% more Democrats than Republicans, with Obama out in front by 9 percentage points. Now, how could you not be ahead if you had that type of an advantage in polling numbers?
I'll tell you, it's absolutely amazing, my friend. As we go along the election season, I'm hoping to be able to get you back on. I know that you're extremely busy, and
I'll be at the RNC. I'll be broadcasting.
Oh, really?
Broadcasting live.
You're going to be out there doing that? Well, that's cool.
Most certainly am.
Well, yep. we will keep in touch with you, my friend. Have yourself a wonderful day, and
there's something very, very wrong with us.
I feel like
there are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, folks. This is the Captain. Want to save 30 to 70% of your prescription medications? Well, listen up, because I'm going to tell you how. Call 1-877-662-5441 and mention code number 67722 to save $29.95 right off the bat and have your list of medications ready so a customer care rep can tell you how much you'll save by becoming a member of Discount Prescription Services. That's 1-877-662-5441 and mention code number 67722 and start saving money today.
Did you know that dehydration starts before you're thirsty? Most people live their lives in stages of dehydration, causing fatigue, anxiety, irritability, depression, and headaches. There is an answer, and it's ultra-pure polarized water. Wata, that is. Wata, an Aquanu water, is refreshing and smooth as silk to drink. Visit our website to learn more at aquanu.com or order online. Find out about store locations and our free local delivery information. Call 1-888-936-2782. Wata, improving life one swallow at a time.
Hi, folks. What are you doing for lunch today? Well, how about checking out the Pizza Hut $5 menu or buy a large pizza with your choice of toppings for only $10? Just think, your family or office can now have a very affordable way to enjoy a lunchtime meal at your favorite neighborhood Pizza Hut. That's Pizza Hut, where America goes, not only for pizza, but also wings and entrees that are good for you and good for your budget. Pizza Hut. Have you had your pizza today? Just tell them the Captain sent you.
back in the days of political bosses, you had captains for each precinct, each district, each block, really. And the captain would know who was living there and what their political habits were. And on election day, he would go around and make sure they all voted and talk about selling the party candidate and getting them lined up. Well, we no longer have really geographic entities like that. That's not important. But what is important is a virtual precinct. My wife and I wrote about this in our book 2010, Take Back America. And many of you did it, but many of you didn't. And we lost some Senate seats we should have won because we really didn't get the vote out. We have to be much more effective this year on the ground. We lost Senate seats in Washington, Colorado, and Nevada on election day. We had a victory and then we lost it on the ground. We didn't pull our people out. So what I would urge you to do is go through your entire list of contacts, everybody you ever emailed to, your business associates, former classmates, people in your soccer pool, fellow soccer moms, just people in your clubs, all kinds of people, everybody you're in touch with. And think about which of them you think are voters who could be persuadable, who are not solidly for us or solidly against us. I know in my own circle of acquaintance there's a woman who's married to a guy who suddenly has had a huge increase in income, and he's now one of the top 1%. She's always been a liberal Democrat, but I suspect she's rethinking it now because she thinks Obama's going to war against her. I have another person whose son is in the military, and that I think is having an impact on her political thinking. Another guy who always was a staunch Democrat, but now he's feeling that the economy's in bad shape and he doesn't really like Obama. What we need to do is find out those swing voters. Make a list of them. 15, 20, 25, 30 of them. The ones we can get. And then make it your business to send them arguments in favor of the Republican candidate at the national level, and also if you have a Senate race in your state, at the state level. One of the purposes of these videos is just for you to do that, to use them to forward them to people on your swing voter list. When you feel that I've made an argument that would be particularly important and effective in getting their vote, send it to them repeatedly. I won't sue you for copyright infringement. I want you to do that. Because if each of us has our own sort of virtual precinct of 20 or 30 or 40 people, and we work hard at getting those votes against Barack Obama, that will make all the difference in the world. And don't listen to any of this nonsense that I don't live in a swing state. Nothing to do with it. You'll be amazed at the states that are in play this year. This whole map is changing. Get a list of 30 or 40 people and go to town on them. Work on them. That's what you need to do. That's your assignment. Thanks for watching.
Hi, everybody. This is Ross Perot. Remember me? I'm the guy with the chalkboard. And listen, if you want to know why there's a giant sucking sound coming out of your wallet because of gas prices, keep on listening to Captain Matt Bruce right here.
Hi, this is the Candy Conservative with today's Minute on a tough sale. Liberalism is winning in America because it's an easy sale. The promise of something for nothing, freedom from accountability, and unearned entitlement is music to the ears of any vulnerable person. Unfortunately, most everyone experiences hardship, so we're all susceptible to the false hope of the liberal message. That's how the left selfishly kidnaps so many of our young, disadvantaged, and vulnerable citizens. Selling conservatism is selling reality, and reality is hard. So is the cliff that liberals inevitably walk over, but that's down the road pain. Conservatism is about the right now pain of choosing to live in the real world. If you're a conservative trying to influence others, remember that your love and example are your most powerful teaching tools. A sincere desire to engage, encourage, and equip your fellow man also helps. Selling conservatism is hard because life is hard. But remember, you're selling reliable values that'll last a lifetime. I'm Dr. Carl Mumpower, and you just spent a minute with a candid conservative.
position of owing more than your real estate is worth, it just doesn't make sense to throw more good money after bad. At some point, it does make good sense to cut your losses. Don't place false hopes on government bailouts that never happen, or people promising to modify your mortgage. No company can force your lender to change a thing if they don't want to. Disposing of it incorrectly could create disastrous tax consequences and ruin your credit. You could even pay income tax on the lender's loss. We have the proven solution to your problem, a way to dispose of that upside-down property without incurring tax liability and minimize any negative credit. I'm Stuart Venner, president of the Wilshire Holding Group. Our Fresh Start program takes you out of ownership within a week and lets you move on with your life. With 16 years experience, this is the only plan that takes the property out of your name and gives you a second chance. For your assurance, we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. We're here to help. Go to realtycrisis.com or call 877-94-HELP-ME. That's realtycrisis.com. realtycrisis.com. 877-94-HELP-ME. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Enjoy the 100 greatest books of all time and never read a word. Listen to them instead on the Library of Classics MP3 player. Enjoy Moby Dick, Gulliver's Travels, Tom Sawyer, Little Women, and 96 more, all preloaded on the compact player. Listen while driving, gardening, working out, or relaxing in your favorite chair. It's the perfect companion for road trips or on a plane. For a limited time, you'll receive the easy-to-use MP3 player, headphones, belt clip, car adapter, and 100 classic audiobooks. You could easily spend over $1,000 to buy the entire collection. You get everything for just $99 plus shipping. That's less than $1 a book. Order now, and you'll also get 50 great classical music performances preloaded on the player. You're fully protected by our lifetime guarantee. If you are ever dissatisfied, get a complete refund, no questions asked. Call toll-free right now and order your Library of Classics.
1-800-721-5077. 1-800-721-5077. That's 1-800-721-5077.
These days, you can't afford to be wasting time or money, especially in business. That's why I stopped going to the post office and started using Stamps.com. Now, I print real U.S. postage for all my letters and packages using just my computer and printer. And now you can start saving time and money, too. Just go to 33stamps.com, and you'll get a...
That's 33stamps.com. 33stamps.com to start saving money today and print postage on your printer off your computer. Do it from home. Don't go to the post office. Save money, save time, save gas. 33stamps.com.
This is Senator John Kerry. I'm listening to the Captain's America radio program because I know that the Captain's America radio program continues to gain in listenership. So, if I decide to run for president again, and, well, I might, the country does need me, you know, I might just make my announcement right here on the Captain's America radio program. Of course, I'll have to listen more and more to make sure I know what it is the country really wants. My new slogan, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Well, hey-ho, Captain, it's Melvin out here in my bass boat. Hey, maybe you can help me with something. I was out here fishing a little bit earlier, and this girl comes pulling up next to me in a little Boston whaler selling Vienna hot dogs. She was in a nice little bathing suit and everything, but anyway, I got a couple of hot dogs from her, and she took off with my $20 and told me she'd bring my change back about 2 hours later. I ain't seen her. I can't explain that to my wife. Looks like I got a nibble on a big one. I gotta let you go there, Captain. Have a good day. Hi, it's Melvin in my bass boat. I'm trolling down Gandy Boulevard looking for one of them big ones floating down the highway. Don't need nothing neither but a couple of good old Gulf shrimp to catch them neither. Gotta pass them pesky bull sharks chasing them along the way, though. Yeah, well, hey, y'all have a good show. Now, this is Melvin in my bass boat signing out. Oh, Nelly, I think I got me a big one. Whoa, now, come on. Hey-ho, Captain, it's Melvin with my bass boat, and, I gotta confess, I saw that footage the other day of them Navy vessels blowing that Iranian thing out the water. Well, I gotta say, I need me one of them. These people out here fishing and stuff, trying to float your boat up and down the intercoastal, and you got a bunch of junkers up in here. It ain't no dang different, is it? In fact, that's what that guy looked like, driving his boat all over yonder, thing going up and zigging, zagging back. You can't blame them for blowing them out the water, and 90% of the time, that's what I want to do, too, if I had one of them things.
Sorry about that, Captain. I didn't mean to get caught up in the spirit.
There's no cause for alarm. We have everything under control. Because we know that something from nothing leaves something. Because you gotta have something to run an economy. Something from nothing leaves something. We gotta spend something. That's why you elected me to bring hope and change. You hope. I'm trying to be your hero as the price heads to zero on long-term treasury. Address me as your highness. Don't have no shining. Stop born from the Chinese.
Hi, everybody. This is the Captain. Check out the new Captain's America store, open 24/7 for your shopping convenience, located at the captainsamerica.talkspot.com website. Show your patriotism with a beautiful red, white, and blue Captain's America logo on a hat, T-shirt, coffee cup, or polo shirt. Now you can show your support of the Captain's America radio show wherever you go and show your pride in America. Go to the captainsamerica.talkspot.com website for more.